Hi guys, really excited today. I've just got my delivery for Marvel Champions, the X-Men stuff, Mutant Genesis, Cyclops and Phoenix. I'm going to open these up and do hero overviews for the heroes and see what else is inside and have a little look inside the boxes. Really excited for this. I've wanted X-Men in Marvel Champions for ages, with this being my favourite game of all time and X-Men also being something I really enjoy. I'm really excited also to get Wolverine next month and Storm. Both look really interesting. I'm hoping to get Gambit in there as well, hopefully, and maybe Beast. And a couple of others I'd like to see, but I'm not sure if they're going to turn up. So fingers crossed they do get them into the game. But for now, really excited for this one. Can't wait to open it up. Can't wait to get it sleeved and played. Let me know if you've got it, if you like it. And if you like this type of video, please leave a like in the like section and comment if you want to ask any questions, and of course if you can subscribe to the channel please. We're really trying to push the numbers up a bit at the minute, so hopefully it will start increasing soon and get us over 200, which is very close. Thanks guys for watching the video. Let's get these opened and see what's inside. As you can see from the front of the box, really excited to get this one open. As you can see, you've got Magneto, Sentinels, you've got Colossus, you've got Shadow Girl, I think it is, someone I'm not really well versed with. But yeah, Shadowcat, sorry, not Shadow Girl. But someone I'm interested to see what she's about. I don't know a lot about her. She's not in a lot of the films I've seen or things I've looked at, but she seems cool. And on the back it shows you've got your 5 scenarios with Sabretooth, Sentinels, Master Mold, the Brotherhood and Magneto. Obviously Magneto is a really iconic hero. To me, the back of this, without even opening the box, says that we're most probably going to get another campaign or big box, because there's quite a few missing off here who aren't on the back. And of course the big baddie, who's in the main set, whose name's completely slipped my mind, but is in the last X-Men film, the one where they go into future past or whatever it's called. Not the best film ever, but not terrible, kind of watchable at least. Not the best X-Men film, but so I reckon there'll most probably be another big expansion. They have said for sure there's going to be other heroes, so hopefully there'll be some more of my favourites. Gambit especially is one I really want. Really excited for Wolverine, but he's not out yet. And this is what's inside. So as you can see, booklet as you would expect. On the top, some Mutant Genesis villain cards, example there, components and symbol set, which is obviously an extra X-Men. These are all kind of things I think we've seen before. Hinder Patrol, permanent, piercing ranged, setup, stalwart, steady, teamwork trait. That looks different potentially, unless it's a teamwork card where you've got the 2 on one card that says team up this hero with that hero. So we'll see how that works. Team up is a keyword that names 2 characters in the card. Yeah, we've done that before. Villainous, I think, is a new one. When a minion with Villainous activates, give it a face down boost card from the top of the encounter deck. When you resolve that minion's activation, turn the boost card face up. Resolve any boost ability on that card and apply the boost icons to the minion's stats for the activation. Discard the boost card after the activation. I think that's a new one. I think Victory X is potentially one we've seen before, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. When a card with Victory X is defeated, place it in the victory display instead of in its owner's pile. So we had kind of display before. I'm not sure if it was called Victory X, but it seems very similar. Amplify we've had before. Victory display is kind of similar to what we had in the Spider-Man campaign, which was really awesome. Hopefully this campaign will be just as good. Definitely going to play through it and do a playthrough on the channel. Campaign stuff, I won't go too far because I don't want to spoil anything, but Sabretooth's first character. Look at the back to see if there's any things as examples of how Colossus's deck is good, and Shadowcat's, which is aggression and protection. I normally prefer an aggression deck, so I might actually really like Shadowcat's base deck, but we'll have a look. And on the back you've got your campaign log. Now, I don't like to write on these, so I get these off the Fantasy Fight website, which you can download and print yourself at home to save you having to write on your rulebook, or if you want to do multiple campaigns. then you need to do that, or photocopy this one off the back, whatever's easiest for you to do. So we've got the hero decks there. We've got our campaign decks here. We kind of know what's coming up, but I don't want to go through the campaign cards because that will give away what's going on, what kind of powers they've got, and things that you might not want to see yet, and things that I want to keep a surprise for myself. So I'm not going to open these up yet. I'm just going to open up the hero packs and do some actual overviews on the cards here to see which ones are best and which ones are not. Now I wish they had easy open sleeves on some of these cards, but they do not for some reason. But easy enough if you've got a knife at hand to just cut them open. And first off, we can see that Shadowcat is a 2/2/2, so she's quite strong. Glare is being a bit annoying. She's got selective intangibility. While you're in the phased mass form, Shadowcat ignores the guard and patrol keyword and any crisis icons in play. So that's new. No one's been able to ignore a crisis icon before. Not that I've seen anyway, and I've got all of the packs, so I don't think so. And then set up for Kitty Pride, it says put your mass form upgrade into play. Solid side face up. Phase control action, flip your mass form upgrade, and it's limited to once per round. So you can only do that when you're in your alter ego form, and in the hero form you can get if you're in the phased mass form, you get to ignore stuff. So that's quite cool. So we've got the upgrade there. It's called phased on that side. Mass form permanent. While Shadowcat is defending, she cannot take damage. After you attack or defend in phased mass form, you have to flip it over. So then you become the solid form. Solid form is again permanent. It says hero resource, exhaust this card, generate a aggression resource for an attack or defense event. Response after you attack or defend in solid mass form, you have to flip it. So she's going to be flipping between forms. Flip, flip. If you're on this side, you want her really to be in the phased mass form if you have any crisis icons in play. So you want her to be in this form really by the end of her turn, so that you don't have to do extra things or get extra stuff. She's got Lockheed as an ally. Really cool. Nice mini. In the Marvel Unite campaign is a cool Lockheed mini. Enters play if you're in solid form, deals 2 damage. If you're phased form, remove 2 threat. So that's cool. Double things. Kitty's Room is a support card. Exhaust Kitty's Room if you're in solid mass form, you heal 2 from Kitty. Phased mass, you get a card. So she's going to take quite a bit of getting used to. She's got acute control. After you ignore the guard or patrol keyword in a minion, you exhaust acute control and deal 2 damage to that minion. You've got intangible interference. After you ignore the crisis icon on a scheme, exhaust intangible interference and remove 2 threat from a scheme. Some nice upgrades here. It's really useful. Phased and confused. There's 2 of these. Hero form only. Attached to an enemy, max per 1 enemy. When the attached enemy would attack, you discard this card instead, then confuse the enemy. So that's really nice. That's a 3 cost upgrade. And you can only put it on in hero form and it gets attached to the enemy. You discard it though once it's done, so it doesn't really act like a proper upgrade. It more acts like an event in a way. And you've got Shadowcat Surprise with 3 of those. You deal 3 damage to an enemy and then you ready the hero. That's 2 cost, but you get to attack and get readied again. So if you've got any boosts on these, you can do double attacks, double defense, or double thwart, or a mixture, which is great. 2 phased strikes, deal 6 damage to an enemy. If you're in phased mass form, you may discard an attachment with the text hero action or hero response from that enemy. Nice. Airwalk, you get 2 of these. Remove 2 threat from a scheme, 4 threat instead if you're in phased mass form. Quick Shift gives you a hero interrupt for defense when an enemy attacks. If you are in solid form, you can change it to phased mass form. If you're in phased mass form, you get to draw 2 cards, which sounds really nice. Oh, nice ally. Here he is, my main man, Wolverine. He's a 4 cost card. If he attacks, Wolverine gets piercing as well. After your turn begins, you heal 1 damage from Wolverine. So he takes 4 consequential damage. After your turn begins, you heal 1 damage from Wolverine. So if you attack with him and then don't use him for 3 rounds, he'll heal again. So you could keep him in for the whole game if you can get him out early. Keep him doing nice. Oh, you got magic. She's really cool as well. Really good choice. Ally, she's going to got 1 thwart and 2 attack. After you play her from your hand, you can spend a science resource to choose a non-elite minion engaged with an X-Men hero. Shuffle that minion into the encounter deck. Nice. Get rid of the minion. You've got 3 upgrades on attack training. Attached to an X-Men ally, max 1 per ally. Attached ally gets +1 attack and +2 hit points. So you could give that to Wolverine and give him 4 attack. And therefore his health can come back as well because he'll have an extra 2 health. But the attack should only still do 3 consequential, so he'll heal for 1. And when you start your next turn, then you can do 2 attacks and make sure he's got still health. So that sounds really great. If you can get these all out with the allies at the start early on, they'd be brilliant. You can do 3 of these gatekeepers. Attach to a minion, they get +2 hit points and gain patrol. And it says interrupt. When attached minion is defeated, remove 4 threat from the main scheme. So it's free to do, but they get a couple of extra hit points. But once you kill them, then you get to remove threat as well. There's 3 of those. You got Team Strike with 3 cards like that with the Wolverine and Beast picture, which is really nice. It says play only if your identity has the X-Men trait, hero action attack, exhaust your hero and add any number of X-Men allies, deal X damage among enemies in play, where X is the total attack of the characters you exhausted this way. So you can do attack kind of straight away. Sounds nice. I'm not sure how that's going to work exactly, but I'll definitely be trying it out. Toe to toe, attack, choose an enemy, that enemy attacks you, deal 5 damage to that enemy. So you get attacked, but you do 5 damage back. And you've got 3 of those, sorry, so you could get 15 damage if you can do them and survive. Then you've got aggressive energy, where you've got your wild resource and max 2 per deck. It says when you spend this card to play an attack, that event deals 1 additional damage. So it's a wild resource. If you play it for an attack, you get an extra damage. That could be really nice. Then in your basics, you've got Colossus as an ally. Nice. Reduce the cost to play Colossus by 1 if your identity has the Mutant or X-Men trait, and he has toughness, so you'll need 2 cards to become. I can't remember if it's stunned. I think it's stunned. You get the X-Mansion, which is worth 2 cost support. Exhaust the X-Mansion, heal 1 damage from a mutant or X-Men character. Any player whose alter ego has the mutant trait may trigger this ability. So Shadowcat is a mutant, as you can see on the back, and she's an X-Men on this side. Shadow and Steel, team up Colossus and Shadowcat. So attack and defense. When an enemy attacks, prevent all damage from the attack and deal 4 damage to the attacking enemy. So that's a nice interrupt for 2 cost. Save any damage and fight back. You've got 3 cards, play under any player's control, max 1 per player, sorry. After you change form, discard this card and ready your hero. So when you flip to alter ego or hero, you can just get ready again. So you can do 2 actions that turn. You've then got a double energy with Phoenix on, a double science genius with the Beast on, and a double strength with I completely forgot his name. Oh my god, I can't remember his name, but it's always useful to have a double strength. Oh my god, it's completely lost me. Obligation is give it to the Kitty Pride player. Flip your mass form, upgrade to phased. You cannot attack, defend, or change mass form, or exhaust Kitty Pride and remove it permanently from the game. I'm assuming you can flip the Kitty Pride, but it doesn't say. Oh yeah, it doesn't say. So you've got to be in Kitty Pride form to be able to do that. Then a minion is the White Queen, so she's really cool. She's quite annoying in the comics and in the films a little bit, not a lot. She's in one of them. A villainess, while she's engaged with you, you're confused. So that sounds a bit annoying. She's got a Hellfire Club thing, she's got Hellfire Pawns, and then a telepathic restraint. So she seems quite a pain in the backside. I'm going to put them there so that I can sleeve them up once this is done. Let's open up Colossus. Now Colossus is the one I expected to find more fun in, but I'm not 100% sure. Now I've looked through that Shadowcat deck, I think she looks really great. So I think I'm going to enjoy both. And although I've not really fully heard of her, she looks really cool. Now Colossus has got 1 thwart, 2 attack and 2 defense. Colossus can have 1 additional tough status card. So He's got steel skin. It says after you change to this form, give Colossus a tough status card. Not really sure how that works then. You can have an additional tough. Oh, so he gets a tough when he flips to this. And he can take 2 toughnesses anyway. The toughness normally blocks out damage, so I'm assuming he can take 2 hits of damage if he's got 2 toughs on him. So he's going to be your tank and all-round player. Then on the other side, he's got recovery of 4 for Piotr Rasputin. One thing I forgot to look at was hand size. Shadowcat's hand size is 5, and she's got 9 hit points. But Colossus's hand size, as you can see at the bottom there, which is not showing up very well, he's only got 4. So I think he's going to be difficult to play as, and I'm not sure how good he's going to be because I hated Hulk with 4 hand size. Just found it really restrictive and difficult. So hopefully he's not as difficult as I can see him being. He's got 14 HP though, which is quite high. Shadowcat's his ally, ignores guard and patrol keywords and any crisis icons in play. You get Piotr's Studio, exhaust it and discard cards from your deck until you discard a Colossus card. Add that card to your hand. So that's quite a good support. It's only 1 cost. And it's not hard to get out for 1. Upgrade, Colossus gets +1 on thwart. After a tough status card is discarded from Colossus, you get to draw a card. Excellent upgrade, that sounds really nice. Titanium Muscles, Colossus gets +1 attack. You get to exhaust this card to generate a aggression resource for each tough status card on Colossus. So if you've got 2 tough status cards on him, you can exhaust that to get 2 aggression resources. So that's helping him really with the low deck hand. So hopefully you can get through a few cards at the start and pick up something like this to help you mitigate the small size of your hand. Upgrade for Organic Steel, you got 2 of these. It says after a tough status card is discarded from Colossus, exhaust this card and remove 1 steel counter from it. Give Colossus a tough status card. So here's a way of getting your tough status cards and then getting a nice synergy with this card for your extra aggression resources. You got Maid of Rage, which is 2. It says when you make a basic attack, discard a tough status card from your hero. You get +6 attack for that hero, and that gains overkill as well. So if you attack a minion, you can kill another minion or take it onto the main enemy. That sounds really nice, and it's 0 cost, which is fantastic on a basic attack. Steel Fist, you've got 3 of these. Deal 5 damage to an enemy. You may discard a tough status card from your hero. Stun and confuse that enemy. So that sounds really nice. Bulletproof Protector, 2 of these. Discard a tough status card from your hero and either give your hero 2 tough status cards or ready your hero. That could be nice. Then it says Armor Up. When the villain activates, change the hero form. Then you've got Nightcrawler ally with your protection deck. It says when an X-Man character will take any amount of damage from an enemy attack, spend a electric resource to return Nightcrawler to your hand, prevent all of that damage. That is nice. Polaris, after she enters play, give an X-Man character a tough status card. Nice. Attached to an X-Men ally, max training, max 1 training upgrade per ally. So this is protective training for allies, and they get 3 hit points extra for that. Powerful Punch, you got 3 of those. Says when an enemy initiates attack, deal 4 damage to that enemy. That sounds nice. Nice defense event, interrupting the attacks or defense. It says the villain attacks you, remove 4 threat from the main scheme. For 3 of these bait and switch cards. Perseverance, you got 3 of those. After you change form, give your hero a tough status card. Nice for changing form, which is kind of what you do anyway for changing form. Mutant Protectors, you got 3 of these. It says play only if you have an X-Men trait. When an enemy attacks, put an X-Men ally into play from your hand, exhaust it and declare it the defender for this attack. So you get it out in your hand. If it's got good health, it also should survive, and you've saved yourself from having to pay the cost to play it. So that would be quite nice for him with his low hand size. Defensive Energy, you got 2 of these in a deck. When you spend it, for a defense event, you draw 1 card. So that's extra cards. Nice. Ally Professor X. After he enters play, choose 1, confuse the villain, stun a minion, or ready an X-Man character. At the end of this round, if Professor X is still in play, you get to discard him. So he doesn't last very long. You've got the X-Jet, exhaust that to generate a wild resource for a player whose identity has the X-Men trait, Ideally, you'd get that out early for yourself, so you're helping yourself pay for cards because you haven't got a lot in your hand to pay for them. Shadow and Steel, team up Colossus and Shadowcat, same as before. Energy, double science, double aggression, and then his obligation is homesick. You can either exhaust Piotr Rasputin and remove homesick from the game, and you can flip to him, or discard this card and each tough status card from your identity. If you discarded no tough status cards this way, this card gains Surge. Oh yes, and his enemy is Juggernaut, who is an awesome character. One of my favourite characters from X-Men. I think he's really cool. So he looks very difficult to beat. He's got Stalwart, Toughness, 8 health, 4 attack, and then he's got some Raging Juggernaut, Scheme, an unstoppable card that gives him +2 attack, another unstoppable card +2 attack, and Slammed when you reveal it, he gets stunned, and seems like a really difficult character to play against. So both of those heroes look absolutely awesome. Really excited to play both of them. I'm most probably going to play them both together to start with and see how it works, and try and figure out if there's a good way to play them. If you've got any questions or want to see anything else, I most probably will film the gameplay for that so you can see how I do. And then if there's any cards you don't really understand or want to see a bit more of, let me know. Like I say, I'm going to keep these as a bit of a kind of spoiler zone, so I don't want to show anything off that you don't want to see, or that I don't want to see before I play the actual main campaign. So thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to push on that at the minute and get the numbers up. So thanks again. See you on the next video.